Classifying societies. Elman Service developed a four-tier classification system for societies: bands, tribes, chiefdoms, and early states. Bands are small, less than 100 people, mobile hunter-gatherer groups without formal leadership. Tribes are larger farming or nomadic communities with basic organization but no power hierarchy. Chiefdoms introduce ranking systems based on relation to the chief, featuring craft specialization and central power centers. Early states represent the most complex structure, with formal laws, standing armies, class stratification, and bureaucratic administration centered in cities. While this framework helps organize anthropological research, it shouldn't overshadow the study of how societies change over time. Undoing our emotions. Research shows that positive emotions significantly impact longevity and health. A study of non-autobiographies revealed that those expressing positive emotions lived 10 years longer than those using neutral language. Barbara Fredrickson's undue effect theory suggests positive emotions counteract negative ones' physiological effects, particularly cardiovascular stress from constant vigilance. Positive emotions help people recover faster from stress and broaden perspective, while negative emotions create tunnel vision. This evolutionary adaptation allowed early humans to balance survival-focused negative emotions with positive emotions that built lasting social resources. The research suggests cultivating positive emotions isn't merely self-indulgent, but beneficial for both individual and societal well-being. The Voynich Manuscript. The Voynich manuscript, housed at Yale's Beinecke Library, is a mysterious medieval document containing undeciphered text and bizarre illustrations. Purchased by Wilfrid Voynich in 1912, this 240-page vellum manuscript has stumped experts for generations. While William Friedman suggested it might be an artificial language, other scholars found evidence of natural language patterns. Dr. Gordon Rugg demonstrated how a medieval hoaxer could have created the manuscript using a grid system. Despite numerous attempts by top codebreakers and modern computer analysis, the manuscript's true nature, whether genuine text, artificial language, or elaborate hoax, remains debated. Density and crowding. While density is simply the number of individuals per unit area, crowding is a complex psychological phenomenon involving density, communication, and social interaction. Research, including Calhoun's landmark rat study, shows that negative effects of crowding stem more from social density, number of interactions, than spatial density. Crowding causes discomfort through stimulus overload and lack of privacy. Studies reveal gender differences in crowding responses, with males generally becoming more aggressive in high-density situations. Negative effects include decreased attraction to others and reduced helping behavior. Coping strategies depend on environmental control and relationship quality with others present. Crowding and density. While density is a physical measure of people per space, crowding is a psychological state influenced by various factors. Calhoun's 1962 rat colony experiment revealed negative behavioral effects of overcrowding, but human studies showed mixed results. Crowding occurs when attention focuses on space violations, lack of environmental control, or forced interactions. Research indicates gender differences in crowding responses, with males showing more negative reactions than females. Importantly, reducing density doesn't necessarily decrease crowding sensations. Environmental modifications, like adding visual distractions or ensuring easy exit options, can reduce crowding feelings without changing density levels. The changing face of farming in the Canterbury region of New Zealand. Canterbury's agricultural landscape has undergone dramatic transformation in recent decades. Traditional crop farming has diversified to include various seeds and crops for international markets. Many farmers have converted to dairy farming, requiring extensive irrigation systems, which has sparked debates about water usage and environmental impact. The region's prosperity has increased through dairy production, wine industry growth, and tourism. However, these changes have created tensions between traditional farmers and newcomers, lifestylers, while raising concerns about biodiversity and water management. The rural workforce now includes seasonal migrant workers, adding a cosmopolitan element to the region. Mercator the Mapmaker. Gerard Mercator, 1512 to 1594, a cobbler's son, revolutionized cartography by creating systematic, consistent maps of the world. His most significant contribution was the Mercator projection, which solved the problem of representing constant compass bearings as straight lines on maps, though it caused distortion at polar regions. He created the first modern atlas, establishing cartographic standards including italic lettering, consistent grid systems, and comprehensive regional coverage. Despite living in turbulent times and facing persecution, his methods became so influential that they were later used for mapping Britain, satellite imagery, and even Mars exploration. Survivor from the Sky. In 1971, 18-year-old Julienne Kepke miraculously survived a 30,000-foot fall when her plane broke apart during a storm over the Amazon jungle. Still strapped to her seat row, she was saved by a combination of storm updrafts, spiral falling motion, and dense vegetation. Despite injuries including a fractured neck bone and deep cuts, she drew on her jungle upbringing to survive. Following streams for 10 days, battling injuries, stingrays, and crocodiles, she finally found rescue at a woodcutter's hut. 29 years later, she revisited the crash site with filmmaker Werner Herzog, displaying remarkable composure while recounting her extraordinary survival story. Intelligence and giftedness. In 1904, Alfred Binet developed the first intelligence test to help French schools identify students needing special education. The test determined a child's mental age compared to physical age. Wilhelm Stern later simplified this into the IQ, intelligence quotient, score by dividing mental age by physical age and multiplying by 100. While initially meant only for educational diagnosis, IQ testing became widespread, notably during World War I for military recruitment. However, these tests became controversial due to their misuse in promoting social prejudices and making life-altering decisions. The debate continues over whether intelligence can be accurately measured through testing. Making of Olympic torch. The Olympic torch tradition, inspired by ancient Greek practices, was reintroduced in 1928, with the first relay occurring at the 1936 Berlin Games. Modern Olympic torches, based on John Hench's 1960 design, require extensive development and testing. For each Games, 10,000 to 15,000 torches are produced for the relay runners. The fuel system evolved from dangerous solid fuels to safer liquid fuels like propane/butane mixtures. Modern torches feature innovative double flame systems, a visible outer orange flame for display and a protected inner blue flame for stability. Each torch design represents its host country while ensuring reliable performance in various weather conditions. Ahead of its time. In New Zealand, Sam Tobin's discovery of a skull by the Ruamahanga River led to a fascinating historical mystery. Initially thought to be recent, forensic examination revealed it belonged to a European woman aged 40 to 45. Radiocarbon dating showed the skull was approximately 296 years old, predating the documented arrival of the first European women in New Zealand by about 200 years. This finding challenged established historical records as it preceded even Captain Cook's 1769 arrival. The most plausible explanation suggests a Spanish or Portuguese shipwreck brought this woman to New Zealand's shores, though no definitive evidence exists. Coral reefs. Coral reefs, though covering less than 0.1% of ocean surface, are vital marine ecosystems housing 25% of all marine species. These calcium carbonate structures, built by coral polyps, are predominantly found in tropical waters. Despite occupying a small area, coral reefs provide essential ecosystem services valued at up to $375 billion annually, supporting tourism, fisheries, and coastal protection. However, they face severe threats from human activities, climate change, and ocean acidification. Approximately 10% of global coral reefs are dead, with 60% at risk, particularly in Southeast Asia where 80% are endangered. Case study in flexible working, Frank Russell Company. Frank Russell Company, a financial services firm, embraces flexible working as both a business strategy and employee benefit. Their motto, "The sun never sets in Russell" reflects their 24-hour global operations, while "Employees First, Clients Second" emphasizes their commitment to staff satisfaction. The company offers various flexible options, including telework, compressed workweeks, and flextime across all departments. These arrangements, supported by email and remote technology, help improve productivity and employee retention. Management evaluates flexible work requests based on potential impact on employee satisfaction and job performance, customizing solutions for different departments and individuals. Just do it, or the subtle art of procrastination. Procrastination, affecting 20% of Americans, up from 5% in 1970, is increasingly recognized as more than just a harmless habit. This chronic time-wasting behavior impacts academic performance, work commitments, relationships, and even physical health. Various strategies have been developed to combat it, including Amy Sykes' approach of using peer pressure and rewards, Raymond Chandler's method of forcing a choice between doing nothing or the important task, and John Perry's technique of manipulating task hierarchies. While procrastination may never be completely eliminated, these strategies offer potential ways to minimize its negative effects on daily life. Why does skin wrinkle in water? Scientists have discovered that wrinkled fingers and toes in water aren't caused by absorption, but rather by blood vessel contraction controlled by the autonomic nervous system. This feature may be an evolutionary adaptation that helped our ancestors gather food from wet environments and handle tools in rainy conditions. Research by Tom Smulders showed that wrinkled fingers improved handling of wet objects by 15 seconds compared to dry hands, functioning similar to car tire treads. The trait, shared with other primates like macaques, isn't permanent, possibly because it reduces sensitivity. This finding could inspire biomimetic designs for shoe treads. Knighthoods, an ancient tradition. Knighthoods, originating in ancient Rome and later adopted by Britain, have evolved from a military honor to recognition of various contributions to national life. Originally, becoming a knight required military training, chivalrous behavior, and financial means. Today, the process involves a nomination system where anyone can be recommended, followed by review by an advisory panel. Recipients can include entertainers, business leaders, and educators, with non-Commonwealth citizens eligible for honorary knighthoods. Knighthoods can be revoked through forfeiture due to criminal convictions, treason, or severe incompetence, as seen in cases like Terry Lewis and Fred Goodwin. The role of accidents in business. Many breakthrough innovations, from Kellogg's Corn Flakes to Post-it notes, emerged from accidents rather than planned processes. Research shows that innovation often stems from chaotic, unexpected circumstances rather than orderly business procedures. Companies are typically divided into colonists, creative but poor at commercialization, and consolidators skilled at market development. While large companies often discourage accidents, viewing them as failures, some businesses are beginning to recognize their value in innovation. Companies like Foster's and Intuit now actively learn from failures and hold sessions to analyze mistakes. However, embracing failure remains challenging in today's short-term focused market. The fluoridation controversy. The fluoridation debate centers on adding fluoride to public water supplies to reduce tooth decay. While proponents cite studies showing significant reduction in tooth decay, around 50%, opponents challenge this on three grounds: exaggerated benefits, potential health risks, including allergic reactions and tooth discoloration, and infringement of individual rights through compulsory medication. Recent sociological analysis suggests that scientific knowledge in this debate is socially negotiated rather than purely objective. The controversy reflects legitimate differences in values regarding public health benefits versus individual choice, rather than a simple conflict between rationality and irrationality. An important language development. Cuneiform, the world's first known writing system, emerged in Sumer, modern-day Iraq, around 6,000 years ago. Originally evolving from a token-based accounting system, it involved impressing triangular marks into clay tablets using a stylus. The system progressed from pictographic representations to abstract symbols that could express both concrete objects and abstract concepts. While primarily used for accounting, 75% of discovered tablets, Cuneiform was adapted for multiple languages, similar to how the Latin alphabet is used today. After falling into disuse, it remained undeciphered for 2,000 years until British officer Henry Rawlinson decoded it in the 19th century. The world's first cities, the creation of Mesopotamian cities. Around 6,000 years ago, Uruk became the world's first city in Mesopotamia, growing to house 40,000 people within 600 hectares. This urban revolution spread across the region, with 80% of the population living in cities by 4,500 years ago. Cities emerged primarily due to environmental challenges, as the harsh climate necessitated collective irrigation systems and resource management. The temple system became a powerful institution, managing agricultural surplus and acting as an early banking system. This urbanization led to specialization of labor and the development of writing, initially for record-keeping on clay tablets.